Hi friends, this is Sri from TechieTalksAI. This video is very important. This is the shortest video you can ever find to take you from zero to hero in full stack development using Next.js. That is Next.js, Tailwind CSS, TypeScript, Node.js, and Docker. From absolute beginner to professional developer. Each module is a self-contained project inside Docker Compose. Just Docker Compose up and you can learn by doing it. Let's quickly understand the frameworks used. Hi, welcome to Techie Talks AI. I'm Sri from Schogini. On this channel, we showcase hands-on demos and insights into AI automation and no-code tools. We have created several make.com modules to simplify no-code automation for you. Subscribe and join us on this journey into the future of technology. Next.js is an open source framework built on React that adds powerful full stack features such as routing, server-side rendering, API routes, and optimization out of the box. Then comes Tailwind CSS, utility-first styling. Tailwind CSS is a utility-first CSS framework that lets you design directly on your HTML, JSX using pre-built classes like p-4, text-center, bg-blue-500. You don't need to edit CSS or you don't need to even see the CSS files. Edit directly HTML or JSX. Then comes TypeScript, JavaScript with superpowers. TypeScript is a superset of JavaScript that adds static typing, interfaces, and compiler checks. Then Node.js, the runtime engine. Node.js is a JavaScript runtime engine built on Chrome's V8 engine. It lets you run JavaScript outside the browser on the server. Then Docker and Docker Compose, containerized development. Docker packages applications and their dependencies into lightweight, reproducible containers. Docker Compose orchestrates multiple containers with one single YAML file. React, the component-driven UI. React is the declarative library that powers Next.js. It lets you build reusable UI components that updates efficiently with state changes. Then there are two tools. One is ESLint, another is PostCSS. ESLint keeps your JavaScript clean and consistent, and PostCSS transforms your CSS to help Tailwind uses it internally. Let's get started. So the project is organized into module 1, 2, 3, up to 9. We have a bonus module 7.1. We will be quickly navigating, explaining each module so that you can actually understand by seeing it in action. Welcome to module 1. This is the first touch point for a beginner. It introduces the app router, modern way to build routes in Next.js. The core idea is file-based routing. That is, if you see here, app folder has a page.js. So when you browse the root of your project, this page.js serves. And it uses the layout.js for the overall design layout of the page. So let's quickly see this in action. Terminal, new terminal. Okay, I have shortened the prompt. I will cd into module 1. And there we have the Docker Compose. So what we need to do is Docker Compose up to start the application. First time when you start, it will build. Otherwise, you can also give -- build to force rebuilding of the project. Okay, so application is starting, and this is the URL, localhost 3000. So what I will do is I will open browser. Okay, so we have module 1, hello Next.js, and this page that you're seeing is located in the root, that is root of the project. And root of our project here is app folders. The page.js present there is served using layout.js as the overall design. If we edit, if I put one more exclamation and save it, you will notice that it is dynamically getting updated, hot reloading. So that is all. So we have deployed a Next.js application in our project 1 with an app folder as the root of the application, and layout.js to have the overall design, and page.js that defines the content of the page. So when the user visits slash app.page.js gets rendered, and the layout wraps all pages automatically. Editing the code instantly refreshes the UI. So key takeaway is you need to know exactly how a minimal Next.js app router project is structured and how it boots up. That is it. That is our module 1. So welcome to module 2, where we will see the addition of Tailwind CSS, layout and reusable components. So this module introduces styling, design structure, and UI composition. So they will click Control C to come out of the Docker Compose and CD into module 2. We will say Docker Compose up. Let's wait for the project to be ready. We can close this module 1 folder and module 2 app folder. We have an about folder which has the page.js inside, and the root of app we have the page.js and layout.js. We also have a globals.css. Okay, so let's refresh. See this, see the styles have changed. It has become beautiful, isn't it? Just by adding Tailwind. So if you look at layout.ts, see here, body, these are all Tailwind classes. We don't need to edit the CSS at all. Just knowing few simple Tailwind syntax, we should be able to build sophisticated websites. So again, app structure is we have an about folder. So we have an about page also. So if you click on this about page, you will notice that it is loading the about page. But see, on top, the URL did not change. So these are all reactive components. Sections of page, it can dynamically load. So in page.csx, if you put a few more dots, see, immediately it gets reflected on your page. So this is a super quick demo of how to make your simple web page beautiful by adding Tailwind CSS. Clear? Let's move on. So key takeaway of module 2 is we now understand the professional styling and component-driven UI. What is component-driven UI? The about page itself is that. When you click on about, that section of the page gets reloaded inside our layout. So the top URL on the browser is not changing. Okay, that is it. Welcome to module 3. Let me CD into module 3, Docker Compose up, and I will also give the build command. It's a good practice to give the build command so that the containers are freshly created. And we can close this module 2 and open module 3, and let's look at the app folder. We have a blog folder. Inside that, we have a square bracket, and within the square bracket, we have slug. Have you seen folders having square brackets possible? Have you seen such folders containing square brackets? That is very handy in Next.js. We will see how it works. And we also have a docs folder. Inside that, there is an intro folder. Okay, so it is, let's refresh the browser. Okay, module 3, all about routing. Page is what you see here. When you click home, which page gets rendered? The app's top level page.js. Okay, so this is the page that you are seeing here. Let me put an exclamation mark. See here, routing overview. So in this project, what we are going to learn is we're going to see static routes slash blog, dynamic routes, that is slash blog slash square bracket slug, nested routes, that is doc slash intro, then route specific loading.js. So inside the square bracket slug, we have the loading.js. So let's start from the static route, app blog page.ts. And here we have loading simulation. So see, in the blogs page, I have edited and did a set timeout 2500 milliseconds. So if you click on blog and click on any of the blog index, this loading post comes, then the post gets displayed. So where is this hello text post? So if you look at the page.ts, we have hard-coded a set of posts. So slug colon hello text, title hello text JS. So slug is the URL part. Okay, then another one, slug routing 101 and title routing 101. So two items are there. And here, this post.map, we iterate through each item and provide blog slash p.slug. So the square bracket that you see here gets replaced with this slug in this map. So that is how in blog you see these items. So if you want to add one more item, what we need to do is to add one more slug. So if I add slug 3 and say I am Sri, see here, I am Sri came and it says loading post and that map gets loaded. So this is a powerful feature of auto creating the routes using square brackets. And then we have nested routes, app docs slash intro. So the folder has this slash. Let me open another terminal. So if you look at app, so if you see the folder structure, docs folder has no page.ts, but inside docs there is an intro folder and that folder has page.ts. So that is why this nested route and this folder structure reflecting the URL path. So the key takeaway of this module is we understand different ways of routing using dynamic paths and how these route states are handled. Let's move on to next module. Control C to exit out of this and CD into module 4. Docker Compose up. Let's avoid build to save time because I have already tested these once. So this is module 4. And in the app folder, we have another API folder which has users and route.js. Then we have users folder that has a page.js. Then on the top level, we have page.js and layout.js. Let's refresh. So this, what you see here is the top level page.js. And that is the home. But if you click on users, you will notice that it is showing a list of users using server fetch. We will see what that is. Okay, so if you look at the users page.js, you will see here constant res, that is for results, await, which is an asynchronous call to this endpoint, API slash users, cache no store. It calls this API slash users, but there is no backend. So where is this endpoint? That endpoint is what is here itself. That response that we get here, we extract the JSON from that response into data, and here data.users map we list each item that is present in this JSON. So if you look at route.js, you will notice that we are providing a map here. Let's add one more name. Okay, so we have 4 users. Let's click on users, and the fetch gets re-executed, and you see the newly added name. So this is the shortest demonstration of how we can have API-based routes. So this is how we build server components fetching data, internal API routes, that is app/API. So here we have separated the data layer and the UI layer. In the previous project, we had the slug as map saved on the page itself, but here this is coming from another endpoint. So client components reduce client-side JavaScript bundle size and improve security. API users returns a JSON / users page fetches this data server side. So no client JavaScript is required. So this project, that is module 4, shows how Next.js behaves like a backend framework. Let's move on to module 5. And let's close this module 5. And if you see here, we have the API folder that has the route.js like before. And let's refresh the application and see what this is. So here we have a client-side fetch. So adding apple, orange, mango. We are able to add, and all these are getting added on the client side itself. If you look at our page.js, we have a new syntax, use client. So anytime when we use the use client directive, it enables hooks like use state, use effect. So use effect, use state, and execution happens on the client side. Another is in page.js, we are also posting data. So here we are using HTTP post method. And when we delete an item, we are also using delete method. Those are being highlighted here. So these are handy snippets for your easy reference. So we can add items and we can delete items. So in this module, we understand client-side state management and API integration. Let's move on. Project 6. We have a data folder which has todos.json, and we have page.js again, layout.js of course, and then we have actions.js. And this actions.js has got functions like add to do, delete to do, etc. So this is the first time we are going to persist data on the server side. Let's refresh to see module 6. Okay, so let's add Apple, and so here Apple, orange, and if you refresh, you see orange. Now, if you look at this todos.json, you will see that the to-do items are getting saved on the server in the data folder. That is what we are doing in this project. So in the actions.js, where we add to do, delete to do, we have the function, we have the syntax use server. So these functions are marked with use server, receive, form data. No client-side JavaScript is required. Forms post to server code. Persistent. So here we demonstrate a minimal file-based storage for teaching purposes. In production cases, we will replace it with a database. But this is the idea. So here we are writing to the file. And here we are constructing the path to our database file, app/data/todos.json. Okay, so that is this quick demo. Let's move on to project 7. Okay, project 7 looks simple. This is a simple website that is integrating everything that we have covered so far, adding pages, using routes, etc. If you look at the structure, we have an account folder. Inside account folder, we have just page.js. We have an API folder which has got login, logout. This is the first time we are going to add authentication. What will happen if you click on account page, set cookies? So I'm opening a normal browser. If you click account, login comes and admin, and if you click on sign in, it authenticates the page, and now we are able to access the protected page. And we have the logout button that resets the session. Okay, so that is the idea. So here we have a middleware that runs before a request hits your route for auth checks. So coming back, API. So this next link is that middleware that checks the authentication. So login, it checks the password, sets the cookie session. If the username and password matches this admin, it authenticates. Otherwise, it says unauthorized. This is a very small demo of how to secure your page using auth. Let's move on to module 8, Docker Compose up, module 8. And here we have API folder that has time, route.js, and cache demo. Here we are demonstrating SEO, that is search engine optimization, where search engine gets the required content from our websites, the metadata, etc., and ISR, incremental static regeneration. This module takes a step into SEO and content freshness. So the idea that we are demonstrating is page level metadata. Okay, so if you look at SEO page, we are giving metadata, title, description, keywords. If you browse the OG endpoint, it will dynamically create an image. So this is an image. So if you look at this OG route.js, it creates an image. It returns an image response. So we saw how to include metadata in a page, how to create dynamic images, and how to demonstrate cache behavior. That is, in cache demo, we say next revalidate 5. So every 5 seconds, they should revalidate. So this revalidate will incrementally re-renders pages to keep the content fresh without full server-side regeneration for every request. See here, I'm clicking the cache demo. You will notice that this build time is instantly getting regenerated, but this API time is cached up to 5 seconds. So every 5 seconds only, this line is getting refreshed. You see this? So that is also possible by just adding revalidate 5. Data section is getting recreated only every 5 seconds. So that is the idea. So here, key takeaway is Next.js is both front end and an SEO engine. So here we saw how we can include SEO friendly content, how to create images, how to revalidate sections of a web page. Let's move on to module 9. So here we have a public folder, and inside public folder we have an uploads folder. So let's upload a file. Okay, so this file is uploaded. See here, we have the file listed as well. So let's look at the app. So here we have the upload folder, page.ts, and here the form action is API/upload, multi-part form data. And if you look at API upload, we have a route.js, and there we have the function that receives the posted data, and we are saving the received file to the public uploads folder. So this will come handy when you build application where you need to upload profile photos, document, media, etc. So this demonstrates request.form data handling, static serving. That is, anything under public is exposed as a static content, so it can directly delivered onto your browser, including CSS, images, etc. This simple demo sanitizes file names. In real apps, also validate the file type, size, scan, uploads, etc. So here, file name, we are sanitizing. Anything which is not alphanumeric is replaced by an underscore. Okay, and our bonus module, that is 7.1, we will make our web page beautiful using, again, Tailwind itself. Okay, so this is a modern website. This is the same login website that we saw earlier. That website has been made into this beautiful design just by adapting the Tailwind syntax. So if you look at folder 7.1 app layout, you will notice that we have added these additional lines to beautify it. Okay, so you can experiment with this to see what changes you can make to make it even more beautiful. And even on the page.js, you will notice that we have the buttons with button outline, etc., different types of buttons. Okay, so that completes zero to hero Next.js journey. This is all we need to know. You don't need to spend 10 hours, 11 hours to understand how these components are used. Once you understand this, when you build applications using vibe coding, etc., you will begin to understand. So congratulations, you're officially a full stack developer. You're gone from zero to hero with Next.js, Tailwind, and Node.js. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more AI and automation tutorials from Schogini, from TechieTalksAI. This is Sri signing off. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Your support really helps. Have ideas or suggestions? Drop them in the comments. Let's build together. At Schogini, we offer expert no-code-make.com and Python AI automation consulting with ready-to-use modules to jumpstart your projects. Stay tuned and subscribe for more.